Yeah, this is a really important thing to me because, as you know, a lot of times I get a lot of kudos for what CARD has become and the number of families it has helped and children it has helped in one way or another. And I really feel very humbled by all of that. But I want to make sure that we let the world know that CARD was built by all these folks, right? Especially these people who have kind of been there for 20 plus years. These are, and as you know, we've started doing some shows already with some of the folks, and they've been talking about the early years of CARD and how we used to gather and develop lessons and programs and change our programs based on every child that we met and so on. And so there's a very special place in my heart for the people we call seniors at CARD. Not that they are senior in age, but they are seniors in experience, and they are incredible people who have built CARD, but more so have just inside and outside of CARD have and continue to contribute to the field with such great passion that I would say in a lot of times in the past 30 years for me, it was their passion that actually kept me going even. And, you know, you say that it was partly me that kept them there. I have to say, I always feel that I must have done something good in my life to be rewarded by having such incredible people in my life, right? And I think a lot of these folks that we're meeting, Shannon, and introducing to our audience are just incredible human beings. Not only are they talented clinically, but they are also just really, really passionate, dedicated people who care deeply about helping others. And our first guest today, if I may just go ahead and talk a little bit about how much I love her, Sarah Niehoff is one of those spectacular human beings. And Sarah is unbelievable in the sense that she, to this day, I would, you know, Shannon, it's interesting if you if you ask any of the other folks that we've been interviewing, who is our best trainer, they probably all would say Sarah. Sarah is amazing. She has been practicing the art of ABA truly for 20 years. And she is one of the best teachers I have ever seen, probably the best teacher I have ever met. She not only has a deep understanding of how to take the principles of ABA and actually apply it to every kid, every treat, every family, etc. She just has an incredible talent in the way that she teaches. And she's, you know, throughout the years, whether it's here as a therapist or as a trainer or it's across the world, and I want to let Sarah talk to us about some of her experiences in other countries, she has helped train hundreds of people, and through them has, of course, helped hundreds of children. So it's really, and that aside, she's just a wonderful human being, and I'm really excited.
The legend. This woman is a legend. So let's get her in here. Sarah Niehoff. There she is in her beautiful purple.
I'm going to be blushing after that intro.
You guys are very color coordinated. I did not get the memo.
I know.
Have a little lilac going on. But Sarah, welcome. We're so thrilled to have you here. And you know, I want Dr. Granpeesheh to talk a little bit more about you, and we want to hear your origin story. But then I have something particular that I need to get off my chest and say that's a compliment. But should we start with her origin story, Dr. Granpeesheh?
Let's start with how you came to CARD, and then bring us all the way forward.
Yeah.
So rewind 22 years. I think my origin story might be slightly unique because I think it involved a little bit of alcohol, but I was in college. during my undergrad, and I'm from Kentucky, and Kentucky Derby is a really big thing here. So we went to the Kentucky Derby, and as college kids enjoyed ourselves for the day. And I had gone back to my friend's house, and we were kind of recouping. And her next door neighbor was a mother of a young child with autism at the time, and she had come over, and when she relates the story, we've become good friends over the years. She said, I had a couple mint juleps, and I figured, what the heck, I'll just ask her. But her daughter liked the pool and wasn't safe, and I was a lifeguard and a swim coach, and they said, oh, why don't you, teach my daughter swim lessons? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And she's like, we also do this therapy thing at home. And I said, no, thank you. I've got this easy summer job. I play with kids in the water, and I'm a lifeguard. No, thank you. And she was real persistent. Thanks for those mint juleps. And she's like, just promise you'll come check out this ABA thing we do. We can fly out a supervisor to train you. And I eventually just agreed to get her off my back. And as soon as I met her daughter, it clicked like that. By the end of the summer, I changed my major, and it's been ABA ever since. So I owe that family a large debt of gratitude.
That's amazing. I actually do remember that phase, which is incredible, because you were one of the reasons, you were the only reason we were very, very interested in developing something in Kentucky. And there was a pretty big cohort of families at one point that you had helped develop, and they actually were helping other families by recruiting therapists for them and training therapists and so on. But keep telling us more. So you got into ABA, and then tell us about your journey at CARD.
So I started in Kentucky, and back then the model was different, where we worked directly with families, or this mom ended up starting a nonprofit to recruit a lot of therapists. And I remember looking at my supervisor at the time, Jason, and I was like, oh, this guy's great. He gets to travel around the world, and he gets to help families out. I love travel. I like kids. I want his job. And so I asked him, I was like, how do I get your job? He's like, well, after you graduate, you come out to California. And so I started my master's, and then a year later, I drove to California. And I remember, it was very vague. And he was like, yeah, you could work. We didn't have that many offices. And he's like, you can work in Woodland Hills or Torrance. And I met someone who's like, Torrance is by the beach. You seem like a beach person. And I'm from Kentucky. I was like, oh, the beach, that's really cool. I don't know anything about that. He's like, yeah, I'm a beach person. And I remember literally in Kansas calling and being like, I'm going to get there this weekend. Am I going to start Monday? How does this work? And I was well taken care of, and started my supervisor training. And I've actually, one of the things I really love about CARD is it's allowed me to move around a lot. So I think I'm in 6 or 7 different offices, and I was also able, thanks to Doreen, to work overseas for 6 years as well, which was a really kind of unique and exciting experience to bring ABA into. I lived in Thailand, into a region that didn't have any ABA, and much less many autism services, full stop. So that was pretty cool. Definitely a highlight.
Yeah, and Shannon, you might remember when we were interviewing Marina earlier, that I was telling you that we had kind of a period of time where we only had 2 incredible people who kind of saved that location, and that would have been Sarah and Marina, and they were amazing. And ever since then, I always just respected their dedication, because it was not about who you're working for, where you are. It was just about, I'm not going to drop my kids. I have a lot of patients. I have a lot of kids I have to take care of right now. And they just continue to do that. And that's right, Sarah. And then Sarah, of course, started traveling. And in those days, we had what was called workshop supervisor. And Sarah became one of the top workshop supervisors. So she went, I think you traveled to a lot of different places. And then eventually, she ended up going to Thailand and got in touch with me and said, there's nothing out here, and there's a big need. And then she trained the entire clinic that exists in Thailand, and they used to be our affiliates because they were kind of following our training model. And I think at one point, Sarah, I believe I saw a picture of all the therapists there, and it was a very legitimate clinic. Let me tell you, they had incredibly well-trained folks, just like kind of when I talk about STAR in South Africa, the same thing. And they were helping kids from all over, and they were amazing. Sarah, tell us a little bit about that.
I remember when I went to Thailand, at first there was just one little boy I was working with. And Doreen's like, I don't know anything about Thailand, but if you can find the people and help them, more power to you. So I was, kind of like trying to do the side hustle and find people. And I was connected with this group called Rainbow Room. And it was a special needs awareness center. And it was this real serendipitous moment where a mom's like, have you heard of this place? And she said, just get in my car. I'm taking you to the Rainbow Room right now. And I remember texting my husband and being like, I'm getting in a stranger's car. I think it's safe. I guess I'll be home in a couple hours. And he's like, it's Thai people. They're going to feed you. You'll be home tonight. It'll be way late, but have fun. But I was like, what is happening? And there was this community of people who are affected with a variety of special needs. But, there's a lot of autism everywhere. And I felt like I had this power and this skill but I didn't know how to find the people. And it was by a bilingual center, and this amazing woman named Rose just put me in touch with the people. And I started doing free workshops every, like twice a month. We call them parent empowerment workshops. And a lot of people in Thailand can't afford card services. So it was a way to kind of promote card, but also give access and train. I think that's how I honed my training skills is doing that. So we ended up doing professional empowerment and parent empowerment. And through that, I met two of the most amazing people in the world, but it was a family who was our client, and they had tried everything for their kid, and when they started ABA, like things just started to click. And now he's in a typical school, he's doing great, we're like Facebook friends, and he chats me all this cool stuff. But they said, we love this, we keep having therapist turnover, how can we get more stable staff for our son, but also help other families, because a lot of them can't hustle like we can. And I was like, well, we do have this model where so we spent the next 4 years kind of overlapping and training, and the quality there was fantastic. And actually most of those therapists that we trained back in the day are still there, and they're still really active, which is really good because they're training like the next generation and the next generation. So I think a lot of that goodness and the card values and our curriculum is still going strong there, which is exciting. So,
well, and I just have to say,
a lot of wonderful people to make all this happen over the years.
That's amazing. And I just have to say that, over the years, both when my son was being treated at CARD and then all these years later, as I've gotten to know so many Cardians, and everybody talks about who's great and what they're great at. And I got to say, I said earlier, you're a legend, and you really are. I don't know if you know that people refer to you as the Niehoff. That is how they're like, oh, you know what you need? You need the Niehoff. Like when people call you that really says something. And I always listen to that, and I know, but I've been around you, and you just have this infectious personality. You're just passionate. The way you live and the way you talk and the way you breathe is passionate. But then this little thing called a global pandemic rolled around. And I watched in a very brief period of time, like I'm talking a week and a half, people that I know and love and respect sat down and changed the model of everything in a blip of time, which I would have told you, I think they would have told you was impossible. And you guys started to put out this model of telehealth that was absolutely brilliant, that saved a lot of people's lives, and people were being trained to do this. And I want to thank everybody at CARD. I've never been prouder to be called a Cardian as I was during that period of time when I watched you guys be at your highest level to get something done because the world needed it. And I just, in the months afterwards, though, as I saw a lot of the pieces, your name was very firmly written on a lot of those pieces, Sarah Niehoff. You've earned the Niehoff. And when I look at the, and I hear from caregivers about what it was like to have those therapists on the computer and interacting with their child, which, look, not ideal, right? I think you guys would rather be there face to face, but when that wasn't a possibility, you made it possible, and they made it interesting for those kids. And I'm just in awe. So thank you on behalf of everybody for everything that you've done. And I know that the families who got telehealth during all of this would strangle me if I didn't say from the bottom of their hearts, my heart, how much it meant to them. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, Sarah, for a lot of different reasons. I want to thank you for myself. It's been, and hopefully it will continue to be, but it's been a really, really joyful 20 plus years that I've known you and worked side by side with you. And I've enjoyed watching you, learning from you, and seeing the incredible work that you do. I want to thank you on behalf of all the families that you've helped, both here and in abroad, in lots of different countries, especially Thailand, because I think that whole thing that you started continues, and it continues to affect a lot of families, which is incredible. And I want to thank you for the amazing training that you provided and continue to provide today to all Cardians. And I think that is just absolutely incredible. And I got to tell you, you know, it's funny because of course I had seen you train our staff in various therapist liaison retreats and such, but recently I was talking to Evelyn, our clinical director, Shannon, and she was saying, I just got off a training that Niehoff was doing. Have you seen how good she is at training? And I was like, yes, I have. I know. That's why I want her to come here to LA and train more people for us. That's what we're talking about. So I want to thank you for all of that. You really have a big reach, Sarah. I hope you know that you've made a huge difference in a lot of lives. And, you know, I love you very much. I'm so, so, so thankful that you are still at CARD and working with me. And I just want to send you lots and lots of love and hope to see you again very soon.
Right back at you. And thank you for all the opportunities. I have a lot of passion for training people, and what a better place to be where I can focus all my energy. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.
And thank you so much for being with us and all that you do. Honestly, thank you. Mwah.
Too kind, ladies.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.